Hello. So today I wanted to share a bit about what I've discovered with the men who struggle with early ejaculation or premature ejaculation. So it's like, I'll be speaking directly to the man who can recognize himself in this. So there's a lot of guys who might see this video who this doesn't fit for. So that means I'm not speaking for you. So you can just disregard. But I'm pretty sure that for the guy who struggles with coming earlier than he wants to when he has sex, he will probably recognize himself here. So what I found with these men is that they have very strong sexual energy and also very sensitive. And they actually carry like a low level of anxiety in the body, probably all the time. And they might not be so visible on the outside for the untrained eye, and they might do very well. If you recognize yourself here, you might know that you do very well in life in other areas. You might be successful and confident and driven in other areas of life. But when it comes to sexuality, you get particularly very quickly excited, and with that comes like an anxiety that becomes stronger as your excitement arises. And this anxiety in the body, it makes it so that your sexual energy becomes overwhelming for you. Your excitement and your arousal becomes overwhelming for you, so you don't know how to handle it and how to hold it, how to rein this powerful force within you. And so it becomes like you quite easily go into your head and try and figure things out. So you're not really connected in your own body. It's like you kind of check out a bit from your own body. And this can have to do with trauma and things that happened when you were younger. And trauma, by the way, doesn't have to be something that's serious, that, big things that you might hear about. It could be anything that leaves a memory for you that affects you in a way that limits you in the future. So this anxiety, it can have different reasons. So if this is you, then it means that you're somehow not really fully present in your body when you're approaching sex and intimacy with your partner, but you tend to be more in your head. So you get overwhelmed by the sexual energy, and you're also not really present, particularly not present in your pelvis, and also kind of low on strength and awareness in that area of your body specifically. And another part that I've noticed here is the thinking that comes with these kind of experiences. So when we've had a certain kind of experience for a number of times that wasn't maybe the way we wanted it, we start to create a narrative to go with that. We start to create beliefs that based on what we experienced. So we start to tell ourselves, you start to tell yourself things about yourself and what sex is like for you, that then creates a programming for the future that makes those kind of scenarios likely to happen again. So you're kind of undermining yourself with your own language. Examples of this could be like, oh, I hope I'm not going to come too soon again, or I hope I'm not going to muck this up, or I wonder if she likes me, maybe she doesn't like me, or maybe she doesn't think I'm good enough, or I'm crap at this, or something along those lines, which is very easy happen. And as soon as we've had a negative experience in some, it could be any area of life, it's easy to create a belief. So that's what's often happening for these guys as well, is that they've got the mindset that it's not supporting the change in this area. And this might also then be mixed up with a bit of excuses and denial, blame even. It could be, that maybe you think it's maybe because your girlfriend, or maybe you just try to avoid the topic by getting really immersed in work or other things in life. Some guys get, actually, I reckon all guys that have, early ejaculation, they get really good at foreplay. They become like masters at foreplay because they know that by the time they enter the woman, it's going to be over pretty quickly. Or that's been, the experience. So they kind of focus all on the foreplay instead, and to make up for it. So another thing that also it's happening for these guys is that so there's the anxiety in the body, that you're not really present in your body, and that you are undermining yourself with your thinking and what you're telling yourself. And it's also some misunderstandings that keeps you trapped in a way that it's difficult to move forward. And what I want to point out here is especially two areas where there's beliefs that doesn't help you if you want to learn to last longer in bed. One of them is the focus on orgasm and climax. So this is, we bombarded with this in our culture, that sex is all about the climax and the orgasm, and the more the merrier, and bigger and better, and all of that. So most men, they really feel the pressure to make the woman orgasm, and they put so much energy into making her come. So that is then becoming a hindrance for you to last if you're at the same time trying to give her an orgasm, and charging towards the peak and the climax, and at the same time trying to hold yourself back from coming. So that kind of mindset, that the belief that the climax is the almighty goal of sex, it's really not helpful if you're wanting to learn to last longer. And it's also quite a misunderstanding, because the female arousal doesn't work like a man's arousal. It's not a peak. The curve is not a peak. It's more like a slowly undulating wave that goes higher and higher indefinitely. So a woman can keep going higher and higher in her arousal, and so can you, when you learn to come out of the pattern of early ejaculation. So that focus on the climax is really holding you back. And yes, the other thing that also doesn't work is it becomes too much of a doing for guys in this situation. So you're focusing so much on trying to make her come and trying to not come. So you're kind of in your head, and you're trying to mix it up, change positions, and manipulate here and there with tricks and moves. And so you're not actually being, but you kind of become this doing. It all becomes very easily disconnected, and that's what doesn't help you to get to the place where you need to be if you want to learn to last. So I'll talk about that a bit now. So the shift that has to happen is not so much about doing things differently, but learning to calm yourself down, because to last in bed you need to be relaxed. So these guys, they go into sympathetic nervous system, they become stressed, they get into fight and flight when they get aroused, and that's going to make you come quickly. So you need to learn to relax and calm down and stay calm even as your arousal and excitement goes up. So that's essential. And to come back into the body, to really find ways to become present and embodied in your own body, so that you're really in your own flesh and bone. And from that place, when you're really connected in yourself and you're really relaxed, then you're really starting to tap into, it's like a different dimension of experiencing, and where you really, it's not about trying to do the right thing in bed anymore. It's really about jumping on the wave where you're guided, because our bodies actually know. Our bodies know how to make love beautifully, and knows how to connect and how to be present. And those are the qualities that are the most important when it comes to really deep, meaningful sex and intimacy. Is not, where you touch and how much and how fast, or, it's really about something deeper than that. And what the feminine longs to feel in her man, it's presence and the connection. And when you are in that place, when you tap into that, dimension, I like to call it, because it's so different to the head dimension when we're thinking. So that being dimension, that's where we're really guided. And I like to compare it with nature. Like like the birds, they fly in formation in the sky, and they just know how to do that naturally and beautifully, you know. And all the animals, cats and dogs, they know how to stretch, for instance, without going to any yoga class. And when we tap into ourselves, when we really relax and land in our own body, then we know what to do and we are guided from within. So the more you can learn how to really be in your own body and relaxed and trust, then you will be guided to the right moves and endless, infinite positions where every touch and every move is pleasurable and you don't have to figure it out. And so that's the work that I do with my clients, that journey from the dimension of doing to the dimension of being, where you can back yourself from within with your mindset and your ability to stay calm and present. And there's a lot also about really growing the strength and embodiment in the pelvis so that you can really support yourself as the arousal and the excitement and the pleasure goes higher and higher. So that's what I wanted to share today. And if you have any questions, as always, get back to me. And I've got a couple of spaces left in my one-on-one program for men, my 8-week program. And I also got a new audio program, just a little one, that's going to be ready really soon. That's going to be a very affordable ejaculation mastery program for men who want to learn to last longer. So yeah, that's all for me today, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Ciao.